Alright, so the introduction of the song is this very typical Delta blues lick, John Lee Hooker lick, which sounds like this. Alright, and that's what we're going to cover here in detail. Now your right hand is positioned as such. The thumb is going to be pulsating that fifth string open, and your index finger is going to be flicking upwards towards you. Now, to play this chord, you're going to lead into this chording here. It's a half chord. On the 3rd fret, you want to finger the 1st and 2nd strings on the 3rd fret, like this. Right? And your index finger is flicking upwards. You're playing those 2 strings together. Now to lead into that, he starts off on the 1st fret 2nd string, just playing that with his index finger, and he plays that once, then he slides to the 2nd fret into the 3rd fret, just by plucking it once. 1, 2, 3. And then on the 4th note, he plays that chord together. Alright? That's how you lead into that introduction. And then he just plays, he sits on this 3rd fret chord maybe 8 or 9 times. And then he goes back to that 1st fret and leads into that 3rd fret again. You're going back and forth, and if you don't want to go all the way back to the 1st fret, you could just go back and forth between the 3rd and 2nd fret, fingering that chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright? And he uses that lick over and over throughout the song. He injects it accordingly. So now that you have that down, when you listen to the original recording, you can inject it in yourself. Now, after he plays that, he goes to playing out the individual notes based on that blues scales on the 3rd fret, which I briefly talked about in the previous segment. And in order to play that, like I said, you have to position your 1st finger on the 1st fret 2nd string. That's going to stay there the whole time you're going to be playing this riff. Now if you have the tablature available to you, please go to that 2nd tab layout on the page, on the 1st page, and we're going to play the first 8 notes out of that. So with your index finger positioned here, staying here, you're going to position your thumb on the 5th string. It's always going to sit there, and you're going to play this piece, which I'm going to play right now, just to show you. The first 8 notes will sound like this, of this riff. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, and we're going to break that down accordingly. So with this stationary here, you are going to find the 3rd string open as your 1st note. Then you're going to play the 3rd fret 3rd string as your 2nd note. Then you're going to play the 3rd and 4th notes are going to be the open string on the 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other half of that, the next 4 notes will sound like this. And this is something that he does over and over through the song. Alright, and to play that, you're going to play with your hand, your right hand positioned as such. The 5th string is going to be played open And you kind of want to play that deafening palm muting motion here. You're going to play the 5th string open, then you're going to go to the 3rd fret 5th string. You're going to play that, and then you'll play the 5th string open again. Then the last note will be the 3rd string open, which you play with your index finger. So those, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th notes will be like this. 5, 6, 7, 8. Or try playing that motion all at once. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And he repeats that over and over again as a setup to continue playing out the remainder of that melody. So then, after that portion, there's another 8 notes that continue to dabble on the 3rd fret again, playing this scale on the 3rd fret, the combination of open strings and fingered strings on the 3rd fret. So the next part of that riff will sound like this. So those 8 notes, again, your first finger is always going to be sitting here, positioned here. It'll never come off that 1st fret. So we're going to start off that phrase with the 5th string open as the first note. Then with your index finger, the second note is going to be the open string on the 3rd string. Then you're going to play the 3rd fret 3rd string. Then you're going to play the 2nd string on the 1st fret. Back to the 3rd fret 3rd string. Then the 3rd string open. Up to the 4th fret, 4th string 3rd fret. Back to the 3rd string open. So here with your finger position like this, you can kind of explore around, play this fluidly, just go up, do a combination of open strings on the 3rd fret and open strings. See what I'm doing is this finger's positioned like this, and my ring finger is playing that kind of riff structure. And that's the main component of his song is he's exploring that format. And a lot of his riff constructs in this song are based off of this concept. So those 8 notes all together, I'll play it slowly, will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Now I'll play it a little faster. So from the beginning, the first 16 notes will sound like this. Right? And then to cap off that lick, he will play, to end that riff, he'll play this kind of pull off on the 3rd fret 3rd string, followed by 2 open strings after that. And it'll sound like this. So the whole riff from the beginning will be like this. And that final 3 notes will be like this. You get the 3rd fret 3rd string, play the pull off, and then play the open string on the 3rd string one more time. So all together it's 1, 2, 3. And after he plays these kind of melodies on the 3rd fret, he reverts back to this bass lick. And that's a way to, it's like a transitionary bass piece to set up his riffs moving up and down the song. And remember that that bass note is made up of 5 notes, and it appears over and over, and it's, like I stated earlier, you're going to find the 5th string open, 3rd fret, 5th string, then 5th string open, play the 3rd string open, back to the open string on the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm having this palm muting motion with the right hand. And it's a good discipline to get down pat, because it's going to appear in his repertoire and in other songs from that region. So let's continue on to the next riff, and that's going to sound, after he plays this riff that we just talked about, he goes back to this riff, and the next 6 notes, that last piece of tablature on the first page, will be like this. You'll play the 5th string open, the 3rd fret 5th string, then you go down to the 4th string open, and then down to the 3rd string. You play that twice. That 6th note is ending on the 1st fret 2nd string. So all 6 notes will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after that, he goes and plays the 7th note, which is going to be on the 3rd fret 3rd string. He plays that, and then he finishes off the rest of that measure with double stops on the 5th string open and the 3rd string open, using that pinching motion. And when he's sitting playing this combination, 5th string open, 3rd string open, pinching, is usually when he starts his singing. When my first wife left me, God knows she took me out on the road. So it's an important concept to get down. This combination kind of kills time for him before he injects the next riff. Alright, so it's really straightforward. Really, if you want to play along with a song, all you got to remember is having that position with your index finger sitting on the 1st fret 2nd string and your ring finger just playing what you hear according to the voicings on the song. Now with John Lee Hooker, he goes all the way down to the 2nd string. This is a very John Lee Hooker chord. And you'll hear that in his music. The next person that we'll study very briefly is John Lee Hooker, and you'll see what we've learned from Mississippi Frederick McDowell, R.L. Burnside, goes to John Lee Hooker as well. They're all related to each other in some way as far as their music goes. Alright, so for the next portion, we're going to continue on with more of the riffs that he's doing in this song, and then we'll tie it all together and wrap it up.